GCTC Cybersecurity Privacy Advisory Council CPAC is a NIST-based public-private partnership. I am one of the CPAC leaders and was tasked with leading the GCTC CPAC COVID-19 task force. My name is Pamela Gupta. Our vision is to create and provide an easy-to-use and a free resource for cities, businesses, first responders, hospitals, and self-employed workers. Different types of communities with similar requirements, but with different solutions depending on the community they belong to. What is the resource kit? This is a very comprehensive resource for helping the communities to achieve operational functionality, operational resilience, as well as cybersecurity best practices and warnings on cybersecurity scams and malicious activity that may be more dangerous and more targeted due to the environment that we are in. The new largest work from home environment globally has created a perfect tsunami for cybercriminals seeking to exploit the crisis and penetrate organizations' defenses via unsecured home networks. What does that mean for you? For one, it means that past strategies have become obsolete. In fact, the very definition of risk has changed. The current environment also may persist for years to come, and there are organizations who are already preparing and have changed their operational model. The resource kit is divided into 8 areas. Pretty much half of it is on how organizations and communities of different types can stay operational and have functionality and business resilience. And the other half is devoted to cybersecurity, privacy, advisories, as well as project related concerns. And last but not least, on how to return to work safely and open up offices safely. I will introduce each area and the area leaders, and they will walk you through how to navigate their particular area most effectively. So the first area is Information and Resource Toolkit for Business. We'll introduce the area leader for Business Toolkit, which is Damien Thwaites.
During this difficult time of rapid disruption and change, business owners, entrepreneurs, and nonprofit leaders face urgent challenges to easily and securely connect with customers and staff online, launch and grow businesses or services, and optimize their cash flow and operations. This Information Resource Toolkit for Business provides useful and trustworthy information and resources in 3 key areas. Informational resources have general guidance on surviving, recovering, and growing during the current pandemic. Here's an example from SCORE's Coronavirus Small Business Resource Hub, where you can register for free access to live online consulting by a SCORE mentor, get answers and guidance about common questions, including raising money, reopening physical businesses safely, or connecting with customers. The planning section describes free or discounted commercial business tools and services that help organizations meet and collaborate online with customers and staff, manage business operations more productively, and start or grow online sales and e-commerce. Financial assistance resources and information describe how to obtain advice, grants, and loans from private and government organizations.
Information Resource Toolkit for Cities and Communities. Area leader is Gary Dennis. It's organized into the following areas: general awareness, planning, informational, and case studies. There is a case study that I want to talk about, which is from city of Coral Gables in Florida, and they have shared, which will be extremely invaluable for other cities, a particular attack that is very relevant to COVID-19 environment. As we are forced into working remotely, a lot of the tools that we are using, such as cloud-based document sharing, cloud-based document signing, makes us more vulnerable to attacks that leverage those technologies. So they have shared a case study, and they talk about the method of operation of the attacks that they have seen and kind of done a analysis on, which can be very helpful for other cities to avoid these attacks, and also not only see the method of operation as in how the phishing emails were sent out, who are the users who would be affected, etc. But then also the response, which is it is really critical at the beginning of the incident response to prevent these attacks from propagating to other users and further compromising other network systems, etc., through the execution of malware, and what are some of the measures that they recommend. This area on the information resource toolkit for first responders, the area leaders for this are Scott Tousley and Dean Skidmore. I'm going to talk about what are some of the resources they have recommended and some of the value that this area provides. The section contains COVID-19 preparedness and response for operational and administrative issues. There are reputable organizations that we have included guidance from, such as the National Association of State EMS Officials and the National Public Safety Telecommunications Council. Those are just examples, but we have many more resources. Another point I'd like to highlight is the case study from City of Coral Gables, Florida, which is a smart city, and they have leveraged their smart city sensors and technology to provide data visualization and analytics to help provide insight and situational awareness to researchers, decision makers, emergency management professionals, and first responders during the COVID-19 pandemic. U.S. states case studies and guidance is information for city, state, federal government leaders, planners, researchers, private industries, nonprofits, and educational institutions. Karen Jensen is the area leader and will walk you through about how to navigate this section. I hand it over to Karen.
Local, state, and federal governments are all working at different levels to define best practice solutions for industry, community, educational, and social needs. This subsection of the GCTC CPAC COVID-19 e-resource kit, titled U.S. States Case Studies and Guidance, contains information for city, state, and federal governments, leaders and planners, researchers, private industries, nonprofits, and educational institutions on how to implement tested solutions, what other communities are working on and finding success in, and the most current information about the impact of COVID-19 on the critical infrastructure sectors defined by Homeland Security. This subsector of the e-resource kit is defined by the categories of general information, planning, and informational. In each of these categories, searchers can find vetted sources of information from the best minds in healthcare, education, industry, and government.
Global applications, projects, and resources. Area leader for this is me, and I am extremely passionate about the kind of avenue that we are providing with this part of the portal, which is as we are seeing COVID-19 tracing apps for helping track who has COVID-19, who the people might be interacting with and have spread the infection to, for instance, social distancing, enforcing measures and applications, systems, etc., coming out to help cope with this pandemic. My concern is that these applications and systems, they have security vulnerabilities, privacy issues, and don't have these security and privacy integrated. It is going to lead to a larger fallout than really helping with what they are meant to address, which is the problem of tracking, for instance, who has COVID-19. There are ample issues that have already been reported, and this part of the portal is a way for either developers of these applications, leaders of these applications, cities, companies who are rolling out this technology to reach out for insight and guidance in making sure these technologies are safe and secure to roll out and also don't have any fallout such as surveillance, for instance, capabilities that will not be good to have in the first place, or also to aggregate. So the kind of issues that I want to focus on here are about the safety and security of the data that is being collected on the devices, on the aggregation of that data in databases, etc., the privacy and security of that information as it is aggregated. And then beyond that, is the information going to be sunset after it's not required? We at CPAC and its companion entities have a large number of volunteers with deep security and privacy skills that can provide validation of security, privacy, architecture, design, and implementations within reason, of course. Security and privacy advisories are something that we are culling from reputable agencies such as FBI, such as Department of Justice, on a constant basis to make sure that we have the right guidance provided in a aggregated form. Cybersecurity and Privacy Resilience Center, we have best practices organized in NIST cybersecurity framework categories. What we have done is taken the guidance and put it into the layout of the NIST cybersecurity framework. As things are developing, we are updating information around these different areas that are very relevant and extremely up to date. Yusra Javed is the area leader for this, and she'll walk you through how to navigate this. And Ria Jain is also going to highlight some of the facets of this Privacy Security Resilience Center.
The advanced persistent threat groups and cybercriminals are targeting individuals, small and medium enterprises, as well as large organizations with COVID-19 focused attacks and scams. At the same time, the surge in teleworking has increased the use of potentially vulnerable services such as VPN softwares and video conferencing tools, amplifying the threats to individuals and organizations. To assist the community in this situation, we have created a cybersecurity and privacy resource kit that leverages articles from credible sources such as the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, and Computer Emergency Response Team, etc. These articles contain best practices related to data privacy and security, remote access, and financial scams, etc. And they're organized according to the 5 categories of the NIST cybersecurity framework, namely identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. So how would you navigate this resource kit? Let's say you are a professional working in a small enterprise and are looking for best practices on how to protect against attacks on video conferencing tools and VPNs. Then you would go to the protect category, and within the protect category you would go to the telework/video teleconference tools and services subsection, and you would look through the articles listed there. For example, this article containing best practices for securing video conferencing. On the other hand, if you are an individual looking for resources on how to detect phishing scams that exploit COVID-19, then you would go to the detect section in the security and privacy advisories and look for the best practices for detecting and mitigating email-based phishing attacks.
The last area in the toolkit talks about guidance on safe and secure return to work. We have guidance here from CDC, for instance, which has multiple decision-based tools for businesses, for schools, on how to open and when to open and what are the factors that go into it. There is additional guidance there as well, so we encourage you to take a look at anything that may be of relevance to you.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and we do want to hear from you, so please contact us at gctctoolkit@gmail.com, and also visit our website at the link on the screen.